Will Leeds United stay in the Premier League? That is the question on every Leeds United fan's lips. All right, guys, what's going on? My name is Ollie Ward. Welcome back to the Ollie Ward channel. I am joined by the handsome, the most subscribed Leeds United channel on YouTube. It is Jer. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, babe. I'm good. We
Good.
got there. We got there.
We did get there. That intro definitely didn't take longer than it should have. Uh, if you are new around here, please do subscribe. If you're from Jer's channel, why aren't you subscribed already? Smash that like button, get your comments in. And today, me and Jer are just going to chat everything Leeds United, unplanned, unscripted as always. But Jer, first of all, let's talk about Leeds United so far. Lost 2 games since that Man City game, and just how impressed have you been with Leeds United? Every time that we come up against a team, I think, well, we're gonna lose this now, or this fun runs over. It just hasn't been like that at all, has it?
No, but I won't stop feeling like that until the end of the season. So that's just the way it's going to be for a bit longer. They've been great. They've been absolutely great. And I know there's a portion of people out there who are frustrated by the late goals that we've conceded and by the amount of points that we've probably dropped. I think it's about 17 points we've dropped from winning positions this season. If we pick that up, we'd already be safe. But, if you can go through the whole league and assign that to pretty much every single team. West Ham have conceded so many late goals this season as well. I think it's just the reality of where we are in the league and the squad that we've got. And if you look at the data and the metrics for it, Leeds have got to put in so much effort to get into those really good positions that you can kind of start to run out of a little bit of steam towards the end of games. And given the size we played against since the start of this run from December, we've done phenomenally well. You can go through, ignoring Arsenal, let's just pretend that they never happened. But if you go through the rest of them, we've nearly picked up points against Man City. That was the start of the turnaround. We might do that this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal, we picked up. Liverpool, we picked up 2 draws against. We've beaten and drawn with Chelsea. So we've been doing okay. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. I think that the side has a huge amount of character. They don't seem to know when they're beaten. When they have gone behind, they've come back in games. The Chelsea game, we were awful in the Chelsea game. We still managed to come out with a point in that game.
Yep.
And a phenomenal 20 minutes in the middle of the second half. So yeah, I look through the players that we've got. Ignoring again the goalkeeping position because that's still questionable. But you look at the back line, Joe Rodon is just one of my favourite players that Leeds have had in a long time, just what he brings to the team. I love Yacobial. I think he's just a powerhouse when he's in there. Pascal Strauch's footballing ability out from the back. Ethan Ampadu's just dominance of a midfield area. He's just been so good this year. And there's a real backbone. I described it on our podcast last week of saying, I'm not talking about a spine of a team. Leeds have got a backbone. Like these guys can carry the burden of what the pressure that this side is putting on. And we've talked for years about how heavy it can be to wear the Leeds United shirt. And these lads have worn it this year and they've just held it and gone with it and ran with it with that weight on their shoulders. And the new players coming in as well. So yeah, really impressed with the group of players, really impressed with what they've done this season. I know we're 15th and, that's not overly impressive in the grander scheme of things. But relative to where we've been, what we've got in and how many championship players are in that starting 11 week in and week out, it's a phenomenal achievement so far, but the job isn't done. There's still a lot of work to get done, and they've got it. And there's people got to be right now smashing keyboards saying, we're going to stay up. Why are we even talking about this? These are safe, blah, blah, blah. And those of us that have been around a bit longer, and I've been around a bit longer, until it's mathematically possible, until the FA don't get involved with points deductions for whatever reason they make up, I'm not going to be comfortable until we're physically, mathematically, and factually over the line. But it's been great so far. And looking ahead to what we've got, if we can carry that momentum into the next couple of matches, fingers crossed, touch wood, pray to your God, whatever you want to do, we might get over the line.
Yeah, completely agree. I think a thing that I've seen with this Leeds United side this season so far, obviously since the start of December, it's just I'm proud of this team. The never say die attitude. You come off each game thinking they actually gave it their all, and just so impressed with Daniel Farke and with the squad. You went through a few of the players there. There's a lot of standout players really that have come into this squad. A lot of players that maybe when we signed, I thought, why are we signing them? And they've proven how good they can be in this side. So credit to all the players. But yeah, you're right. Until Leeds United are mathematically safe, as Leeds fans, we're always going to panic because we've been here before. I think what the problem is, and we said this before we started recording, is neutral fans are saying Leeds United is safe, who have never clearly watched Leeds United in their life before. But like you said, we've got a few big games coming up. Obviously, Man City this weekend. We've got the fixtures here, down here, thanks to Jer. He sent me this. So we've got Leeds, obviously got Man City. Then we've got West Ham versus Liverpool. We have Nottingham Forest versus Brighton, Palace versus Man United, Fulham v Tottenham this weekend. A big game for each of them teams down there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big weekend. It's a tough weekend. I mean, some of the sides have got the advantage of home games, ourselves and West Ham, but West Ham are in great form right now as well. I think that deformed side in the bottom half of the table right now, so which is great for them. Where you got Spurs who are away to Fulham. Fulham have a decent upturn in form as well. Not an easy place for them to go, but it is a London derby, thereabouts London derby. But they have to go away in that game, and they're a bit fragile looking at the moment, so that could be trickier for them. Palace away to this, I don't want to say I've turned the corner, Manchester United, because it feels like they've been stuck on a roundabout for probably about 20 years. But yeah, it's that won't be easy for Palace either. Brighton away, depending on which Brighton turns up for Forest, it could be a tricky day at the office as well. West Ham at home to Liverpool. If Liverpool decide to sort themselves out, this would be a good time, Liverpool, if you fancy it. That would be great. And then we've Man City. So it's not going to be an easy weekend for anybody. It could be a very strong possibility that every single side that we're talking about end up picking up nothing, which is fine, because then we go to 10 games and exactly as we are, we continue just kick the can down the road a bit. But it's the week after that. That's the midweek games.
Yes, the midweek games.
Interesting to me.
They are very interesting indeed. Obviously, Leeds have Sunderland at home. It's West Ham. They're away at Fulham. Man City are away. Forest are away to Man City. Palace are away to Spurs. And then obviously, so it's Palace v Spurs. So they'll be down there. So someone has to drop some sort of points. But quickly looking at the next three after Man City, the Sunderland, Crystal Palace, Brentford game. If we get, say, maximum points there, is it too early? Is it too early to be saying that?
Easy.
I'm not saying we're going to get maximum points. I don't clip this. I'm not saying that. I'm just thinking if we came away Man City, maybe let's say that's a write-off. But then you got Sunderland, Palace, and Brentford. If we can get maybe 7 points out of that, we're looking all right, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, because there's been games in the last couple of months where we've looked at away from home specifically against the sides. And we've played a lot of it again in this run that we've been on. There's a lot of draws in there, but they've come against sides in the top half of the table. You hope you can extrapolate that form into the lower half of the table and think that you beat those sides that are down there. And that's where we struggled in the first half of the season. We losing to Burnley. They're the ones where we've probably let ourselves down a little bit. So if we can improve those ones, and these are the games that Leeds need to try and go and win. These are the games that will decide the season. All of a sudden, all the draws we have will come into their own if we can turn these next set of fixtures into wins. Sunderland's away form is really poor. I'm going to the game as well, so I'd like them to win. That would be nice. Thanks. I haven't seen us lose in 3 years, so fingers crossed on that. But if you beat Sunderland, that's 34 points that you're on now. Palace away, you're against a relegation rival. That's a big game. It's not an easy place for Leeds to go to historically either, but we can go and get something there. And then if you beat Brentford at home, again, we're at home, and we've got to back ourselves. It's an evening game as well. It's under the lights. So again, the record that we have for that. I mean, look, it's wishful thinking until it happens. But if we were to pick up 9 points in those 3 matches, you're done. You're there. Now, you're going to need more than 40. I think everyone agrees this year it's going to be more than that. But then you've got Wolves at home, Burnley at home, Spurs away, and they've been really poor at home. So the pressure's off pretty much at that point as well. And if the sides around us are dropping points, if you can beat Wolves, they're gone. If you can beat Palace, you drag them into problem. If you beat Spurs away, they're in big trouble. So again, you're not just winning games of football, you're winning games against sides that are in that block with you. So they all become 6-pointers. So yeah, it's huge. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, we go to the London Stadium on the last day of the season with no pressure on our shoulders. It'll be great.
Yeah, that's what we're all hoping, really. And it's a thing as well where, it's easy to say this on paper, isn't it? But we know Leeds, and we could
lose every game.
We could lose every game.
Lose every one of them.
Oh, don't even put that in the air. But I just want to quickly talk about sort of the 4 other teams here: the West Ham, Nottingham Forest, Palace, and Tottenham, who are around there with us. Obviously, Burnley, probably too late for them to escape, isn't it? And Wolves, I mean, no chance. But out of them 4 teams, West Ham, Forest, Palace, and Tottenham, which one's impressed you the most that can think that will probably get out of this quite convincingly? And who's one that's thinking they might be taking up that 18th spot?
I think West Ham will get out of it. comfortably. I think they'll end up pretty comfortable by the end of things. They've really turned the corner. They've looked really good. They've got goals. They're really relying very heavily on Somerville and Jared Bowen. So if they get injured, they could be a tricky patch as well. Tati Castellanos has been very, very good since he signed for them as well. He's given them a focal point. Callum Wilson stuck around. Stuck around.
Yeah.
Which Wilson is he? Callum Wilson. Yeah, he stuck around for a bit longer as well. So they've got good options there. If I'm Spurs, I'm nervous, and if I'm Palace, I'm a little nervous. And Palace got a win last week against Wolves, but when you've got a manager who's outwardly just I'm gone at the end of the season, they're talking about getting rid of him now. I mean, the instability that causes in the dressing room, especially if you've got players who are maybe planning their future for next season and having to think about where they want to be, talking to their agents and thinking, well, this guy's off, so I'm not sticking around. You know? So that can cause problems. I've yet to see a manager announce he's finishing up at the end of the season and it end well, or him finish out that entire time. I mean, was it Ferguson did it at Manchester United, then had to roll back on it and stayed in it a couple of years and then didn't tell anyone, then left then at the end of the season decided he was going to go. It's happened to a few. I think it happened at Arsenal. Wenger did it at Arsenal as well. Wasn't a great finish to the season there either. So I would be worried if I was those two. I don't think Brighton are necessarily out of it just yet because they've been weird. There's something weird around the environment in the Amex. When you watch the games, there's a really strange atmosphere around the ground. I don't think they're necessarily out of trouble. Just I've heard a couple of people say something's wrong at Brighton, and I would be entitled to agree a little bit as well. They shouldn't be where they are, and yet they are. So something broken there. But if I was Palace and Spurs, I'd be a little bit worried, especially over the last couple of weeks where we've been eking out points. Yeah, they haven't been. Forest, I think, of all the manager changes, Pereira going into Forest was the one that worried me the most because I think he suits the style of player that they've got, whereas Sean Dyche probably didn't. And they had to go and buy a striker to fit his style of play. I know Pereira didn't do well at Wolves, but he did last year when he took them over, and then he lost, Nuri. Strand Larson was going to go through his toes out of Pram, but they lost players last season that were important to them, and they've been a basket case for a bit of time as well. But I think he's the likes of James McAtee weren't playing very much under Sean Dyche. I think will start playing far more under Pereira. I think they've got quality in that squad, and if you can get them playing football, I think they'll be all right. But I do worry for Spurs and Palace, and when Spurs you shouldn't be, because you look at the players they've got a good squad, but there is always this thing of, are they too good to go down? To dare is to do, Tottenham. To dare is to do.
That is
why not have a crack at it going down?
Yeah, well,
for a little bit.
And when I look at the teams we've mentioned over the last few weeks, it has been Spurs that have been the one that I've looked at and think, you look the worst out of all of them. And I'm kind of similar with you. I think West Ham have turned a bit of a corner, but if we look at the fixtures there, obviously we won't go through all of them. You can look yourself at home. It looks like Palace. I don't know about you. Palace have got probably the hardest run, would you say, out of the last sort of 11 games? City away and then Liverpool away.
Then us, then Man City, then Newcastle, then West Ham, who will need to win games.
Yeah, Arsenal on the final day of the season.
That's a tough run of 11 games.
It really is.
Bearing in mind they're gonna need wins as well. Spurs have got Fulham, Palace, Liverpool, Forest, Sunderland, Brighton, Wolves, Villa. That's not straightforward either.
No.
Forest, Brighton, Man City, Fulham. I think Forest will have enough to beat the likes of Burnley. Probably beat Spurs. Get something against Fulham. Bournemouth last day of the season, you never know. But I would much rather our run in than any of theirs.
I was going to say our run in on paper looks quite nice, really. So it's Man City, Sunderland, Crystal Palace, Brentford, Man United, Wolves, Bournemouth, Burnley, Spurs, Brighton, West Ham. Not a lot of the top four there. Obviously, Man United and Man City as it stands, but a lot of teams around us, a lot of chances to get points. If I had to ask you right now, with 11 games to go, are Leeds safe? I know that's hard. No.
I'm not going to say yes to that. Not because I made this mistake on Maddie's show a while ago when he said, should Daniel Farke be sacked? One word answer. And I was like, it was after the Aston Villa game. I went, yeah. But because there's context to it. It wasn't just straightforward yes, but it's a one word answer. There's context to it. My answer at that point was actually, you either change the style, change the formation, change the players, or change the manager. And he changed all those things. So you saved the manager. That's the long version of the answer. And until it's mathematically possible, I'm not going to. I'm literally counting down on a spreadsheet available points between now and the end of the season. What we're on. I'm not even looking at points picked up. I'm looking at what's left and what's available and what's the gap.
Mm.
I'm obsessed with gaps. Same last year in the championship. It was, what's the gap to 7th? Are we guaranteed a playoff place? What's the gap to 3rd? Are we guaranteed a promotion space? That's this time of the year. That's all I'm looking at, are gaps. I'd like to think that we've, on paper, if we play the way we've been playing, if we can get the wins that we need to get against the sides that are down there around us, which is absolutely possible, and they have it within their abilities to do so, then we should be safe. We should be. But unfortunately, you never know what's going to happen. The Premier League's brutal.
Yeah.
So, a couple of bad results, and all of a sudden everything wobbles a little bit. And look at Arsenal, top of the league. A wobble can carry on for a little bit of time. So, yeah, look, I think, and I would like to think that we're going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't ever put my house on Leeds doing something, because I think they'll do it, because I've seen the opposite happen too often. But fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed indeed. So there's no clip there to clip up and use, just saying Leeds are going to stay up.
I learned the last time. I'll have some randomer on a different YouTube channel putting clips up and giving out about me saying things.
But either way, what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments down below. Will Leeds stay up? I know a lot of people have been saying, don't worry about Leeds in a relegation battle, but we've been here before. We all thought Liverpool were going to win the league after the first 6 games, and look where they are now. So it's context in football, bias, recency bias. If we lose our next 3, everyone will say we're going down. But either way, let's just remain positive. Get your thoughts in the comments down below. Smash that like button. Jer, what have you got coming up on your channel?
We've last night's podcast out where we looked at the Villa game, looked ahead to Man City, looked again at this topic as well in a bit more detail, Paul and Jerry. And we also talked about all of Leeds' exes who are fighting with each other on social media at the moment with Jesse and Sam. So nice to see, by the way, Stuart Dallas back up Sam Allardyce and go against Jesse's algorithm and flow chart and say, no, the training had dropped off. So, interesting conversation. But yeah, we'll chat about that as well. And Chelino and Matt Smith call him Massimo Chelino a certified lunatic.
I did see that, but it's well worth a watch, a listen over on Jer's channel. It'll be in the description down below. Guys, if you want to see more videos with myself and Jer, you guys seem to love them. So smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheery. Oh.